Hey, what's up guys? I'm Dan from Adventures Guitarland, where I teach you how to play guitar by playing a role-playing game. Today we're going to continue our journey towards becoming a more dynamic guitar player. But before we do, click that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you're notified whenever I come out with new content. Additionally, leave a comment below what songs you like that have the Hammer-On in it. So let's get into what the Hammer-On is. We're not talking about anything with a tool. We are talking about a technique. Again, this is a left-hand technique on guitar where you are playing a note and without using your picking hand, using the next finger or a subsequent finger to sound the note above it. That is what a hammer-on is. Now, it doesn't have to be the note directly above it. It can be really any of those notes. The idea is that it's a legato up, and it can be multiple at the same time, which is what I was doing in the beginning with the scale. That is all that a hammer-on is. Now, normally you hear hammer-on, pull-offs, and trills all put together. I'm going to separate that a little bit because I find it easier to understand if you work on each one separately. So let's start with that right now. As I just said earlier, a hammer-on is just simply using your finger to play that next note instead of using your pick. The way that you're going to do that is by finding the sweet spot in both speed as well as strength. And here's what I mean by that. So we're going to turn the volume up real quick, and we're just going to go from this F sharp up to G. Now, if you don't go up fast enough, you hear it kind of muted out for a second. That's not what you want to do. You want to get up there fast enough, but you don't want to go too hard. You hear how it bent up out of pitch? It's because I pressed down too hard, and I'm actually taking that note and pushing it out of pitch when I go all the way to the fretboard. Additionally, another thing that can happen with that is you go and you bend the string ever so slightly. We will get to bends later. It's right after the trills. But for right now, you don't want to be bending. So the other issue is that you might go fast, but not down hard enough to ring out that next note. So you have to find that sweet spot. If you remember earlier when I was talking about lightest touch, finding that lightest touch on that it takes to ring out the next note, this is part of the reason it's so important, because you get used to going fast and then you can get just that lightest touch to get just the right clarity of the next note. So one way to practice this is to just do hammer-ons all the way up. Now what I like to do, I don't like to do it on the first fret, although you do need to practice that particular technique. But for this, what I'm going to show you, start on the second fret and go second, third, fourth, and fifth. And it'll go something like this. Open to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. Typically, I do that twice. Before switching to the next string, and just repeating that pattern all the way up until I get to the high E string. Now, once you're there, you're going to walk down, but we're not going to do pull-offs. We're going to do hammer-ons on the way down. Now, this one will really improve your finger dexterity. And just do that all the way down. Until you get down to your sixth string or E string. And once you get that, that's step one. The next way you're going to want to practice this is to put multiple hammer-ons together. Here's how we're going to do it. Same pattern where it's 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we're going to go 0, 2, 3, then 2, 3, 4, then 3, 4, 5, and then 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll look something like this. You want to do that for each string. Again, use a metronome so you're keeping in time with this. Practice that, it'll help. So this technique is not just for single strings, it can be used for chords as well. Or if you're playing a bar chord, like let's say a C minor, right? So there's multiple ways to use that, as well as on the single strings and with chords. I also use this with a scale, and this is the point that you want to strive to be able to get to, is to just play through a scale with nothing but hammer-ons the whole way up. Now I can do this in the root position right here. Or I can do it using 3 notes per string starting on C. which is exactly what I did at the beginning of this video. So how do you incorporate this into your playing? Well, you can incorporate it, like I said, playing with a scale. You can also incorporate it, maybe you're... It's really hard not to want to start to pull-offs and trills and things of that nature when I'm doing that, but you get the idea. It's just another way to add another dynamic. This is something that you should practice no more than a couple minutes. You don't want to get your fingers too tired with this one, because when you're doing it, it really can give them a workout. If you're having issues getting it to go down just hard enough, but not too hard, one of the things I like to do is pretend that I need to go just a little bit, maybe, you know, a centimeter behind the top of the fretboard, but not press down hard, just that's where I'm aiming for. And it gets me right there. It's kind of that Bruce Lee idea of punching 1 inch behind the wall, or 1 inch past where you need to push or punch. Kind of the same idea with that as well. It's how I was able to get used to it when I was younger. Now, before I finish and just say goodbye, be sure to click that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you're notified when I come out with new content. And until next time, enjoy your adventure, and I'll see you in Guitarland.